You got a microphone. Mic check. You have a microphone. Everybody shut up!
He's fine right here.
Bring the mic up here.
So how do I walk it through? I don't want to stand in the center. I don't believe in you. Okay. I'm one of everybody here. Oh, well, what happened to the megaphone?
What happened with the megaphone? Mic check. Do anything you want.
He's saying it's designed for him to stand in the center.
That's how everybody else is.
They're bringing it up.
There isn't really any better steps than this, actually.
There are better.
Are there over there? Okay.
There's easier steps back here than they have like this.
I didn't want to come down in the center here because I wanted to stand as one of thousands. This, to the media who are here, and God bless you and thank you for coming and giving attention to this. But this is a movement that does not have a spokesperson. We are all spokespeople. Everybody here. You don't have to train these cameras on me because everybody here has a story to tell. Has a story to tell about what's happened. This is not a movement. Who's the leader of this thing? And I said, everybody is the leader. Everybody here is a leader. The only way we're going to succeed is if everyone here is a leader and goes back to their neighborhood, to their school, to their church, to wherever, and bring more people into this. That's how this works. Someone from the media asked me, who organized this?
Excuse us, this is a live stream. We did.
And I said, well, there's the Wells Fargo Center. They organized it. And Citibank, and Chase, and ExxonMobil, and BP, and we go down the whole damn list. This incredible movement has been organized by the greedy bastards who ruined the lives of millions of Americans. They weren't satisfied with just a little bit of greed. They had to have a lot of greed, and then that wasn't enough either, and they wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop, and they created a country where we've got 50 million people with no health insurance. We've got 46 million living in poverty. We've got 40 million adults who cannot read and write above a 4th grade level. They're called functional illiterates. That's the country we have because of what they've done to the middle class of this country, to the poor of this country. And if the media wants to know how this happened, thank you, Wells Fargo. You made this happen. Now, I have to tell you something. What did he say?
Get to it.
As I was coming up the block here, I saw a few tents. And as I got closer, I saw a lot of tents. And then I went down the whole block, and there were even more tents on the next block. And now you've moved into the third block. I understand they just don't, now we're in a federal park, right? All right. Well, greetings to the Homeland Security people who have infiltrated the crowd. No, sir. I mean, you know, we've had almost 1 million people now work for Homeland Security. They've created a vast network to spy on the American people. They're in every mid-sized town in this country, and I just started imagining the Homeland Security people who are here, who were trying to put in they were trying to put in their fake nose ring a couple hours ago, and they were drawing tattoos on each other's arms with magic markers so they would fit in. But unfortunately, right, they can't get rid of the $200 haircut. So, but I want to tell you what I saw, what I just experienced as I came up the street. What is this, Salmon or 5th? 3rd. Yeah, like I said, it's 3rd and Madison. No, but I want to tell you, I have been to many of the occupies around this country, up from New York to LA to San Francisco, Oakland, and this is by far the largest occupation. This is so inspiring. As I came up the street here, no, I'm serious. I mean, you're here in Portland, which is like way away from everything. So
This is where it's at! Yeah!
it's very hard to get to Portland. But so I'm here to tell you, having traveled the country, you don't know how friggin' awesome this is. That's right.
This is what democracy looks
In
like!
Portland.
This is what democracy looks like!
Portland. Portland. It's like the seat of our new democracy. It's awesome. My sister was with me, and I said, when we were coming up the street, is there like I wish we had like a trophy to hand to Portland.
We don't want a trophy, we want democracy!
That's right. Well, we got to the amphitheater, and we said, here's the trophy. Look at all these people here.
Exactly!
He's quoting me. So I just want to just say a couple of things. Number one, this movement, which is only 6 weeks old, right? I mean, this is incredible that this has already, it's spread like wildfire across the country. I mean, last night I was in a town in Northern California, over by the Nevada border, Nevada City. You ever heard of Grass Valley? I was like, no, but it's talked about being in the middle of nowhere. There's probably only a few thousand people that live there. Last week they had 400 people at Occupy Grass Valley. This is happening everywhere, and it can't be stopped. It's only going to grow. Why is it? The American people have had it. Have you seen the public opinion polls where they ask the question, do you agree with the aims of Occupy Wall Street? And whether you look at the Time Magazine poll or the National Journal poll, 59% of the American people support Occupy Wall Street. That's incredible. That's incredible. When, for those of you who are my age or older, can you think of any movement that has achieved 59% support in its first 6 weeks? I mean, it's just an amazing thing to see. And
Think of any movement that's achieved 9%.
if you're old enough to remember the anti-Vietnam movement, that took years before the American public was in a majority against the war. The feminist movement, years. Actually, you can take that back to 1840. That's how long that took. And women still aren't paid the same as men. These are usually very long hauls and long struggles, and it's not to say that this one won't be a long haul either. Well, they're counting on you and me to go away. They think this is just the latest fad, that the weather's getting colder. And
Hell yeah!
I'm trying to bring the warm weather back by keeping my shorts on. Look, these tents, the apparatus you've set up here, and I know it rains a lot here, but you are clearly in for the long haul. It's important to remember that the majority of the country you live in is with you. Oftentimes it doesn't feel that way. Oftentimes it feels like, oh, well, yes, it's true here in Portland, but once we, get to Vancouver, it's no longer like this. That's not true anymore. This is really what America looks like. This is really what's happening. People have come alive. And the majority of your fellow Americans now come down on many issues, the way that you have fought and struggled for so many years. The vast majority of Americans are against these wars, and they want them ended right now. That's the country you live in. The vast majority of Americans believe that women should be paid the same as men, that we need stronger environmental laws. The last poll I saw, 72% of the American public says taxes must be raised on the rich now. 72%. And for the first time ever last month, the majority of Americans in the poll said, 54% said, we believe that gay marriage should be the law of the land. 54%. Now, that's the country you live in. Take heart. Take heart. Know that there are literally millions who wish they could be here with you in this park. And that you, and each one of you is a stand-in for another 1,000 people who can't be here. That's the role you're playing. Everybody has a part to play in this. So what you're doing here is absolutely incredible, and I know much appreciated by so many people. Now, how are the police treating you here?
Awesome.
Okay? No? Fairly good. Fair to Midland. Better than Oakland. Can I get a better than Oakland?
Better than Oakland.
Now, who in the federal government has been here in this part of the park? Anybody yet? Oh, Homeland Security was here.
Yes, they arrested one person.
Oh, really?
They already made an arrest. They've already arrested one person.
They arrested 30 of us yesterday, and I was one of them for sitting in a park.
This park here. So they did 30 arrests yesterday.
At another park. Not here. Not here.
John Peters
Got it.
just before you did.
Okay.
They arrested us at the Bank of America today for marching on Bank of America.
And you arrested, some people were arrested at Bank of America today. One person.
For zombie makeup.
Oh, but it was a zombie. Well, that doesn't count. It's quite scary looking at some of your Halloween.
Yo, Michael. Yo, Michael.
So, yes.
Hey, man, can I get a plug out? I'm trying to sit down. Yo, man, you have to look over sometimes. Hold up. Hey, I'm trying to get a plug in, man. Well, I'm trying to ask the most richest people of the world, the 400 Club, man, to donate $1 million a piece on it. At least ain't nobody asked them yet, so we saying they automatically will.
All right, I'll repeat that.
Somebody asked them, we'll sure appreciate it. So my name is Thomas Muller,
Thank you.
and I sure appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. All right. What he just said is very good. What he just said was that the richest 400, we know about them, right? They have more wealth than 150 million Americans combined. All right? 400 people. And this man, Thomas, is requesting, and I think it's a very simple request. Would each of these 400 just give back $1 million each?
How about $1 million of yours?
Thomas,
$3 million. $1 million of yours?
they spend that on lunch. But listen, I know that again, I did not want to come down and stand here in the center like this with a microphone because I've been down at Occupy Wall Street a dozen times in the last 6 weeks, and I participate in the General Assembly as one person of many. That's the way this should be, and I think that what's great about this is it has such respect for everyone, and that everyone can come here and have a voice. And yes, it takes time, and sometimes it's a little messy, but I'd rather that than the other way. The reason why this has spread is specifically because it is, quote, disorganized. The reason this has spread is because it doesn't have a leader. That's why it's spread. So it's important to keep it that way. Do not allow politicians to co-opt this in any way. You know, if we, the people of the Occupy movement, decide to get involved in this politically, we'll decide, and we'll tell them what to do, not the other way around. So, I don't really have much more to say except to bring you greetings from Occupy Wall Street in New York. I told the people in Oakland I was coming up here, and they said to say thank you. They've seen the pictures on the internet of what you've done here, and really people can't believe it across the country how Portland has done this. So And I think you don't have those here.
They took them. Closed our own bathroom.
The city took your porta potties? Yes! Of all the injustices I've heard of! You know, we're all praying for Scott Olson in Oakland, the ex-Marine who was shot with a tear gas canister by the police there. He's still recovering, and we wish our best for him. And I think people, you can go to scottolson.org and send your wishes to him, whatever. I think that'd be a nice thing to do. But he knows that this has happened and that he has the support of people across the country. So thank you for those who've already done that. And I see somebody with a ball cap. It's in Occupy Portland? Oh.
Yeah. A Cascadia flag on behalf of the veterans. On behalf of the veterans.